gotten reports back. Our psych warfare experts say they'll buy it. Just say we wired it. And then somebody changed that, I guess when he couldn't get the insurance money, just an added little thing in this whole system. And so they said, we'll just blow the thing and say that it fell on its own. And that's what they did. And it's admitted they did that. And then the way PSYOPs and Black Ops work is they go, well, a lot of cops and firemen know this. People are talking. These 9/11 truthers are talking to them. What you do is on one or two programs, you just mention that you gave the order to pull it to save life. But then on the insurance settlement, it says that he didn't. And then that way you're covered. Just like we use drills. This is them talking to Silverstein. Just like we use drills, sir. So that we can have plausible deniability. The public doesn't want to believe these type of things, so they'll buy the lie no matter how ridiculous. Are you sure about that? Yes, sir, we are. Thanks for working with us on this. It's better for America and Israel. This is going to let us set up the empire and continue things. This is a pawn sacrifice for America. We appreciate your patriotism. You really think they're going to buy it? You mean we're going to blow this thing up right in front of everybody? Sir, it's better if you don't know all the details. You saw Tower 1 and 2. They bought that, didn't they? All right. Well, the deal was I let you do this to my buildings. I get the $6 billion. Sir, you're involved in the, local underworld, mafia in New York. You understand how this works. I mean, I've been working with you for a long time. And I have to sit there and I have to look at these people. I mean, they think we're so stupid. They blow up all three of the buildings. They admit they blew up 7 and then say they never said it when they said it on TV. And you got all the cops saying, get back, they're blowing it up. And then you have a Fox News person come out and say, well, yeah. I mean, we were going to blow it up that day. Silverstein tried to get permission, but he couldn't, so it fell anyways perfectly in its own footprint and didn't damage nearby buildings, which is the reason he wanted to blow it up, was supposedly not to damage other buildings. And then you talk to the general public, they can't even grasp this elementary thing. A lot of times they'll switch into Crime Stop or doublethink and say, well, the government had to blow it up. And you go, no. The government's denying they blew it up. But I thought you said Silverstein admitted they blew it up. See, they know how to confuse people. Well, no, they've said both. That's the reason there's a cover-up here. We know from the evidence they blew it up, from the seismographs, from the witnesses, from the video, from the cops and firemen saying get back, from Silverstein admitting they blew it up, from it being on the news. They went with the story, we're going to blow up Building 7 to protect you. And then they shift and say, no, we didn't do that. We never said that. You heard it all over radio and TV. And so an hour before they shift from we're going to blow it up to, oh, no, it's fallen in its own footprint, and the building's still standing there. I mean, they're running around like chickens with their heads cut off because something didn't go right with Building 7. They're out in the open. And grown adults, many of them can grasp it, many others can't. But then it just brings it all home, how in your face this is, how out in the open this is, to have Fox News come out and say, it is true we were looking at blowing it up, but it fell on its own perfectly, so we didn't have to. When all these years they've denied that they were promoting blowing up Building 7, but they knew that wouldn't sail with engineers around the country and demolition experts. Oh, man, they really think we're stupid. I'm going to spend the balance of this second hour now detailing the controlled demolition of the third tower, the 47-story skyscraper that fell after 5 p.m. on 9/11 8.5 years ago. Why am I now going to do that? Because it not only gives evidence of government-sponsored terrorism, it shows how they put out a story that's ridiculous, but because the FBI, the police, the firemen can't believe the government's this evil, the government could say, we're going to blow this up, get everyone back, and tell hundreds of police this on video. And it was all over radio and TV, and then they came out and said, no, we didn't blow up Building 7. And then Larry Silverstein went on PBS a year and a half after the event and said, yes, we did give the order to pull or demolish Building 7. Then he got caught lying and saying, well, I meant getting firemen out, but firemen had been out for 5 hours. He said we gave the order to pull it and then watch the building come down. And we have all these police videos, all these interviews, all these newscasts where they said they were going to bring down Building 7. Then they changed the story and said, no, it's fallen on its own, perfectly in its own footprint. And then they did that early. They screwed up in the internal press release that was put out to CNN and BBC, and Building 7 was still standing for another hour after the CNN, 25 minutes after BBC. Then you hear the explosions, you see the blast, the building falls, there's police saying, get back, they're getting ready to bring down the building, they're about to blow it up, boom, it blows up and falls. And then they come out and tell the public that, no, we never said we were going to blow it up. That's a conspiracy theory. And then years later, they come back out and say, okay, we were talking about blowing it up that day, as if they could plant explosives in a building when it was on fire. Limited fires. But there's so many facets to this. So what I'm going to do now is go over the article that spurred me to cover this today, because this is another mainstream admission by media that was there that day that, yes, indeed, Silverstein was calling the insurance company, discussing the controlled demolition of Building 7. And it's just from another source. There are hundreds of sources. I have not just played the CNN and Fox and local news clips of the firemen and police saying, get back. They said they're going to blow it up. They're going to bring it down. And those clips are coming up. It is to know that these reporters and the police and the firemen who weren't part of this would willfully then be told a ridiculous cover story and then play along with it for the last 8 years, saying that no one ever talked about blowing it up or they didn't blow it up. The official 9/11 Commission report and the NIST report is it fell from fire. Not hit by a plane, small fires on 3 to 4 floors. And they say it fell. And they've given 6 different reasons and changed it each time for why it fell. It had the CIA, FBI, IRS, Defense Intelligence, emergency management for the state, the county, and the city in that building. They were running tripod 2 drill, not in Building 7 that day. They'd moved a mobile command post the night before, and the deputy director of FEMA, Mr. Kennedy, told ABC News that morning, well, we arrived last night for a terror drill. And then people said, well, what do you mean for a terror drill? And then he said, I was mistaken. And then it came out in congressional testimony they were running tripod 2 of the towers being attacked. So they moved out of 7 because they were running a simulated attack on 7. And then Giuliani that day admitted they were running drills. Then he said, I never said that, despite the fact we have CBS, ABC, Fox, radio, TV. I mean, just incredible amounts of interviews. I think, 7 different interviews he did that day, saying, yes, luckily we were out of Building 7 because we were running a drill that day. So again, they lie on every front. That's a whole other issue. But I literally had flashbacks last night of all my research, of all these video clips of the police officers. We didn't just watch the videos of the cops saying, get back, they're blowing up Building 7. We then went out and found, 9/11 Truth went out and found police officers. I've interviewed 5 of them who were there and heard the countdown or were told get back, they were going to blow it up. When you're in Manhattan, people walk up when you're holding up 9/11 Truth signs, businessmen and women, firemen come over and pat you on the back and say, we know the truth, but we're too scared to speak up. We heard them say they were going to blow it up. I mean, I was going to the pizza place at 4:30 in the afternoon. I had been on Genesis all day on other shows, continued coverage, back at the time, 8.5 years ago, and I heard ABC News on the local news affiliate, 590, the station we're on, saying, they're looking at demolishing Building 7 so it doesn't damage other buildings. I mean, you heard it, you saw it. How many videos and audio is there of this? Then it's a clear controlled demolition. And Silverstein comes out and says, we didn't blow it up. But previously said they did blow it up.